Hey everybody, Lorraine Kamisha here, and welcome back to the Viral Effect with Lorraine Kamisha. Honestly, it's been a long ass week. Okay, I've been, struggling with some health issues and all that good stuff. So it's been a while since my last video, but I wanted to hop on real quick and talk about some things that have been going on in the social media world. Okay, so last week there was a big game here in Atlanta between the Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody was pretty much there in the Atlanta, celebrity scene, rappers, T.I., Ludacris, all those people who are notable in Atlanta in, the music or the hip hop scene. Okay. So there was a huge thing on social media where T.I. and King and Tiny got into a little scuffle at the game. Okay. And it went viral, as has lots of issues with that family or lots of things with that family. Maybe about a couple of weeks ago, T.I. and Tiny were in the news because they had opened up a low income housing project in the Atlanta area. There's been things with Eris that's out there and she's doing her thing. Young lady, nice young lady who's, working on her craft at this very young age. But this particular event brought up some issues that the family has went through before. Let's go to a couple of videos and let's look at it.
I know you capping. I know you. I know you. I know you. Shut up. I know you. Ain't no mystery about here. I know you though. I know you though. I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business. You know I stand on business. Why you even letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me like that? Why you letting him play with me? No, ain't no joking. Ain't no joking. What do you mean?
You are embarrassing yourself and your family. You embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. Man, what is she talking about?
Get off me. Man, get off me.
Boy, you can't do nothing with me. Ain't you can do with me. Man, stop hitting me and getting in my comments, telling me what to tell King, okay? I know my son. Think I ain't spoke to my son? Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas? His ass going to prison. If he goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. Yeah.
So I'm going to just leave that right there. Apparently, the rumor is that he got into some type of scuffle or altercation with Tiny, I'm sorry, his mother, and then T.I. had to step in, and there was talk of some type of alleged physical altercation between him and his son. And he's obviously been in the news a lot. King has in the past about, having tendencies to have aggression. There's been cases where he's been at school and, had been involved in fights and things like that. So this is not the first time that T.I. and Tiny's son King has been in the news from some public, situation. However, I want to share this video with you, and we're going to talk about this, and maybe it'll give a little bit of different perspective on things.
Okay, so I would say what hurt me would be like, I'm honestly like my mom being like with Tip all the time.
Damn.
Like
Timestamp that.
not
I
time
got
that
you.
that. I feel
I
like
got you.
even now and today, like that's how it is. Like they're just tied to the hip. But now I'm grown, so it's like I can't really give a but I can't. It's just like
Damn.
type thing.
Damn, that's real. Oh, is that, could you see, could that be a thing? I'm honest, like, give me game.
The presence,
Like, just the presence of,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
always kicking it
Yeah.
in.
yeah, it goes a long way too.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was dramatic, like singing out the window. Like, oh, you ever seen the movie Joe Dirt? No,
I've heard of
no,
it.
no.
I've heard of it.
Anyways, I was dramatic, like, oh, I just want my dad to be here. If I look at the moon, I hope he's looking too. And like, I don't know. I feel like kids just long to have their parents. Like, I grew up in a great house, like my grandparents. My grandparents are literally the reason why I am. Like, I don't take no shit, all that. But I wanted my parents.
You know what's crazy about this?
What?
First of all, I feel like I'm the king therapist at this point because I interview like a couple of your siblings.
Really?
Yeah. So King.
Oh yeah. You interviewed King?
Yeah. So he says
child.
something similar.
What did he say?
So like, part of the reason why like he took the route he took because again, everybody think King just came from this lavish background. He's like, nah, bro, I was in my grandmother's crib. The most. This is what he said. Like, bro, I was.
Him too.
And she lived in like that's what he said.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to show a little bit of that clip, and it talks about how their kids were pretty much raised by their grandparents, and honestly, a lot in our community, in our Black community, I've seen cases of that where the kids are raised by the grandparents or they're sent for extended period of times by their grandparents. And then sometimes they can grow resentful and they can feel some type of way and they begin to act out because at the end of the day, even though they had maybe that stability that their grandparents were offering them, sometimes that manifests in the children as, nobody wants me or my parents didn't want me or they just wasn't there for me. Like Zonnique says, they absolutely long for their parents, even though they were in, a great situation with their grandparents. And one thing that has always been very important to me, even though I do have a village, my children visit their father, their grandparents, extended family and stuff like that. One of the reasons why I chose not to pursue a career in the pharmacy world, even though I graduated with a doctor of pharmacy, is because I knew that was going to take me away from the home so much. And as a single parent, for the majority of the time that I've been a parent, it's very important for me not only to provide for my kids, but also to be there for them physically as well. So I chose to kind of step back and be in the family. It's not perfect, a lot of times some things have to get, brushed over or some things just don't click. But at the end of the day, I didn't want my children to not see me be in the home. Perfect Nail says kids want to be with their parents. Absolutely. They just want to be with their parents, even though we have these support systems. And like I said, I have an extensive support system. I'm very thankful for my support systems. We have grandparents, we have aunties. I have a full-time nanny right now that we've had daycare. We've done all these things so that, I can provide for my children. But at the end of the day, money is not going to keep those kids, mentally, emotionally, secure. So it takes us being with them and spending that time with them. I always envisioned, even though having to work or, traveling for my job or, building my business and stuff like that, I wanted to make sure that we were present together. I take them on trips. When I was working on my content house and renovating the house, they learned through the process as well as I did because they were there with me. And I think maybe, especially as an older millennial, growing up with boomer parents, some of us grew up with, what is that, Gen X parents, it was a separation. Like I either had to go to work or I was at home. And now with the digital age and us being a lot online and finding ways and ways to make money and to provide for ourselves, wherever we go, we're able to kind of meld the two. So my life is my business and my business is my life. My work is my life. My life is my work. I mean, we have to strike some type of balance somewhere, and it can be very hard, which is one of the reasons why I work with a lot of women on how to create side hustles. One of the reasons why it's so hard for us as women is because we're spread so thin as mothers. Okay. We're stuck between, okay, I got to do this to provide for my children or to make myself secure and also to provide for their mental health and to be there for them and to train them in the way that we want to go. But how do we, fund our lives at the same time? I do have a resource for women called 50 Side Hustles for moms who want to work from home. I have tagged that in the description here. Also, there's a tag on, if you go to my channel and look, there's an ebook there called Divorce the Dollars, you know, how to still provide for yourself with side hustle income while you're going through a divorce. Because let's be honest, a lot of us end up with the short end of the stick. We end up with the children, which is what we want. I mean, we want to be with our children, but you know, when we break up or when we have divorces, then it becomes an extra, you know, worry or an extra stress, because we also have to provide for them as well. So I just wanted to hop on and talk about this a little bit and see what your thoughts were. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like, you know, this is a valid issue? Do you feel like, you know, King is kind of acting out because he really wants that, you know, support, that recognition, that love from his parents, that it seems to be that, you know, was very limited? I'm not trying to down any parents. As a parents, we all have to do what we have to do. And T.I. and Tiny have made a great living, and they'll leave a lot financially to their kids. But what about the other part of that? All right. I thank you guys for joining me. Again, if you need me or if you need any help with your viral marketing strategy, there's plenty of links in the comments where you can access resources and help from me as well. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll try not to make it so long for the next video when I get ready to come back. All right. Thank you.